Speaking of objections, I object to the fact that Trump is speaking at the NRA gathering. Hold on, let me move this up. Look at that chat, man. It's flying. There's Wayne LaPierre, who every time they say his name, I think Wayne LaPoubert. Joan Cusack in Grosse Pointe Blank, a real scumbag. I think it's Wayne LaPoubelle was his name. No women, no kids. I could also do that one, I suppose. No women, no kids. That was pretty easy. These are like part of my one-line impersonations. Glass? Who gives a shit about glass? No women, no kids. It's no use, Luke. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. It's not the years, baby. It's the mileage. You're behind. Yeah, I know he's already talking. I backed it up so we could catch the top. I know what I'm doing. I'm a semi-professional streamer at this point. I know what's going on. There's this dipshit introducing him. And then let's see. Shall we see if, Yep, Lee Greenwood couldn't dodge it. Sorry, Lee. You can drop out of the fucking thing, but this dipshit's still gonna play your song when he walks on stage. Yep, there you go. Yes, Hal the pro streamer. All right. He's posing for a picture with these dipshits. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. You're a gun person, right? You do the gun thing. Gunny gun, guns, guns. He plays a whole song. Oh, fucking hell. So I haven't been this close to another man since Jeffrey Epstein. Wayne, good to see you. Good work. Did you just slap me? I did. I'll slap you back. Nobody gets... I got the last touch. You got the last touch. Bye. I'll see you guys later. I parked out by the fire hydrant. You'll find the car. Wandering around. Clap and clap. Hey, you. How you doing? I don't mean to point my finger like any kind of violent... Hello, you. I remember you. I don't remember a lot of people these days, but I remember you. And let's see. Let me find somebody else I know. Nope. Nobody. Yeah, thanks. Jerk off right... There you go. Right on my hair. There you go. Thank you for jerking off on my hair. Squirt, squirt. Great. Great. By the way, I'm all prepared to get completely grossed out by this bullshit. Is he still... Oh my God, he's still wandering around. Clap, clap, clap. Hey, what's happening, titties? Hello, baby. All right, let's clap, 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 clap. Thumb up your butt. There you go. Let me know if you need another one. You, I know you. Squirt right on my tie. You, that squirt's for you. This squirt's for you. Clap, 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 clap. Nope, it's not over yet. I thought it was over. I was going to step towards the thing. Okay, it's a good shot to see my teleprompter. It's all queued up. Good, being a total pro. Hey, this is going on a long squirt, 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 long time. Even had time to rub one out. Bye. See you guys later. I'll see you at the car. We're going to Pizza Hut afterwards. Yeah, I'll see you. Okay. And the song will end. Yeah, just okay. This really does drag, I gotta say. Thank you very much. It's pronounced NRA.
Well, thank you, Wayne, and thank you, Jason. I'm honored to be here in the great state of Texas with the wonderful patriots of the NRA. And unlike some, I didn't disappoint you by not showing up.
Oh, yeah, so just shit on the people who are pulling out because a bunch of kids just died. Classy.
Gotta show up. Gotta show up.
Gotta show up. That's him talking to himself.
For more than 150 years, the NRA has stood strong and tall in defense of our
long and wide and depth with some girth.
Our rights, our freedoms, our families, our law enforcement officers, and our sacred liberties as Americans. And together we're
Yeah, with Russian money being the only thing that propped itself up until it had to declare bankruptcy.
going to be standing strong and tall for many, many years to come.
With no help from me, because as a billionaire, I could probably fund the entire thing. Well, if I was a real billionaire.
I really do appreciate this incredible turnout.
Not as good as I thought it was going to be.
I want to express my tremendous gratitude to each and every one of the proud citizens here today. You are the backbone of our movement, and you are the
Our movement? What the fuck are you talking about?
backbone of our country. You know that.
No, they're not. They're not even the hip bone of our country. If most of them had a bone worth talking about, they wouldn't be members of the NRA. Wham, wham.
I just heard him. He made a wonderful speech. Ted Cruz, Senator, where are you? Thank you very much.
Your wife's still ugly, and I meant what I said, and fuck you, and thanks for being a lapdog. And, but is it chilly in here, or is it just me? I'm kidding. Have fun in Cancun. Every time there's a cold breeze, this motherfucker heads for the border.
Ted, thank you very much.
He's like an ad for a Taco Bell smoothie.
Great job. Governor Kristi Noem is here. Kristi, thank you.
Thank you. Where's Christy? Where is she?
Doing a
Where's Christy? Where is she?
fantastic job. In North Carolina, this is a hot politician. He's a hot politician. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. I don't know where you are, Mark. I don't know where Mark is, but he is fantastic. We just had a very good day, as you know, in North Carolina. As we
Yeah, you should have North Carolina locked up, asshole.
gathered this week, citizens across this
Also, by the way, do not be baited into acting like this asshole has any value in a greater conversation about guns. Don't let him drag you into, dear God, how could he? Who's he think he is? He is meaningless to this entire topic. Like, even to the NRA, this asshole has never fired a gun, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, doesn't know a magazine from a barrel, from buckshot to a bullet, doesn't know anything about guns at all. Like, he would go, like, you saw him, remember those pictures of him playing baseball? Can you imagine this dickhead at a shooting range? Please.
state and across this nation are filled with grief in the wake of the heinous massacre of Robb Elementary School in Uvalde.
Uvalde. I had to work on that pronunciation.
You know all about that and what a horrible, horrible thing it was to see it, to watch it, to hear about it.
Yeah, imagine going through it. Imagine being a parent. Imagine giving a rat's ass. He always results to this. Have you ever noticed that he always brings this shit up? So you see these things on TV and it's terrible. You see it, you hear about it and it's just awful. Like, yeah, this is, talk about Kush.
The terrible murder of 19 innocent children and 2 adult teachers, with many badly injured, was a savage and barbaric atrocity that shocks the conscience of every single American.
Except, I guess, for everybody at this gathering who decided to show up in a show of incredibly poor taste.
So horrible.
So terrible. Ugh.
I want to ask for a brief moment of silence as I read the names of these beautiful people.
Fuck you. By the way, I'm skipping past this. I don't see any reason for this asshole. Look at this. Look at him reading it off a piece of paper.
Lunatic. So we'll start.
What?
They're brave teachers whose lives were destroyed by an out-of-control lunatic.
He was definitely in control. Lunatic, I agree. But the problem wasn't that he was out of control. He wasn't flailing. He planned shit out. And people knew about it. And those people should have come forward. People on racist Reddit boards, the kind of places where Tucker Carlson's head writer used to hang out. I'm not even gonna, like, fucking, where's Will Smith when you need him? Oh, what the hell? The fuck? What bell is that? That's a sound effect. Jesus Christ.
Loss. Literally not comprehensible.
No, it is comprehensible.
Each precious young soul that was taken is an incomprehensible loss. Literally not comprehensible.
Jesus Christ. Like, I always love watching somebody pretend to give a shit.
Stolen from us by
What's brown and sounds like a bell? Dung.
a malice that no words can describe.
Describe.
Stolen from us by a malice that no words can describe.
Yes, no words can describe them. Look at his face. Look at his big dumb face. Look at his big dopey dumb fucking face as he pretends to give a shit and then says no words can describe. By the way, Biden's the one with a problem.
Sickness. The monster who committed this crime is pure evil, pure cruelty, pure hatred.
He's dead.
Absolute pure hatred.
Absolute pure hatred. I was going to say add absolute. You know, Trump always converses like that dude in Defending Your Life who talks to Albert Brooks at the sushi bar where he goes, what'd you do, Dan? I was in advertising. What'd you do? I was in adult books. Selling them? Yes. No, reading them. Of course, selling them. You know those strip clubs out by the airport? Yeah. Originally, I bought 2 of the clubs because they were going under, and they had nude on the thing, and I came up with totally all nude, doubled business in a month. Want to go take a piss?
And while those he slaughtered are now with God in heaven, he will be eternally damned to burn in the fires of hell.
Says you, motherfucker. That doesn't make anybody feel better. Their kids aren't with them anymore. Well, at least we can, burning in hell, everyone. A round of applause for eternal damnation. Literally, they're clapping for hell. This is, for fuck's sake.
As we mourn for so many beautiful victims, I know that everyone here joins me in praying for the families who are suddenly missing the brightest light in their lives. We see their agony. We ask God to ease.
No, he doesn't. This fucker doesn't pray.
Their suffering and to heal their pain, and together we grieve side by side as one great American family. Now is the time to find common ground.
It's fine. Yes, let's find common ground. But before I get to that, hey, fuck those rhinos, right? And the Dems are destroying our country, and our country's going to hell, and we're not going to have a country.
Before the sun had even set on the horrible day of tragedy, we witnessed a now familiar parade of cynical politicians seeking to exploit the tears of sobbing families.
Oh, no, for the record, nobody was doing that. We were all reacting to 3 shootings ago. What you're seeing in the outrage is not from this current crop of dead children. It's from 3 groups of dead kids ago, just for the record. We're not acting quickly. You're just assuming that it's based on this one and not based on the other mass shootings. Just assume, tell you what, I'm still pissed about Columbine. How about that? Is it too late? Is it too early? Too soon to talk about Columbine? Yeah?
To increase their own power and take away our constitutional rights.
To what? Ghost guns? 60-round magazines for no fucking reason other than their anti-personnel value?
Every time a disturbed or demented person
buys a gun with no hitch in the law stopping them, all we want to do is patch that hole so crazy people can't buy guns, or domestic abusers or domestic violence perpetrators can't buy guns, and you guys fucking stomp the brakes.
Commit such a hideous crime. There's always
Jesus Christ, we're in Foster Brooks territory again.
Demented person commits such a hideous crime.
There's always I'm burp or fart. We don't know. I'm gonna go with fart
grotesque
and burp at the same time.
Effort by some in our.
I'm not taking this asshole seriously. Sorry. Yes, he's off his stimulants today. I doubt it, though. I actually think after he gets through this part, it never happened. He'll wipe his ass with that list and then move on.
Society to use the suffering of others
to try and prevent the suffering of even more people? What kind of an adult asshole thinks of something like that?
To advance their own extreme political agenda. Even more repulsive is their rush to shift blame away from the villains who commit acts of mass violence.
To the villains that sold them the weapons of mass violence, to the assholes who block normal baseline rules and laws to protect people.
And to place that blame onto the shoulders of millions of peaceful, law-abiding citizens.
Why? What do those people have to worry about? What? They can all pass a background check. They could all pass universal background checks. They're not going to be raided by the fucking government. They don't need 1,300 rounds of fucking ammunition.
Who belong to organizations such as our wonderful NRA.
Our wonderful NRA. The wonderful NRA.
When Joe Biden blamed the gun lobby, he was talking about Americans like you.
No, he's talking about the gun lobby. The people that you're talking to are the suckers who've been hypnotized by the gun lobby.
And along with countless...
Although I don't doubt that there are people in that audience that are part of the gun lobby.
Other Democrats this week, he was shamefully suggesting that Republicans are somehow okay with letting school shootings happen. They're not okay with it.
Okay, prove it. Prove you're not okay with it. That's real easy. Do fucking something. Do anything. What do you got? Besides maybe no one will go on a shooting in that audience because they fall asleep because you're so goddamn boring.
This rhetoric is highly divisive and dangerous, and most importantly, it's wrong.
Divisive.
It has no place in our politics.
Sure it does. Shaming people for being shameful has a great function.
As always, in the wake of these tragedies, the various gun control policies being pushed by the left would have done nothing to prevent the horror that took place.
Bullshit. I presented one very simple issue where they could have, if somebody does a voluntary stay in a psych ward or something like that, it would delay their ability to purchase guns. Also, rules that they've been in all the bills so far about red flags on volumes of ammo. In and of itself, just getting a knock at the door like, hey, nice to see you. What do you need 1,300 rounds of fucking ammunition for? Since you don't own a range, what are you doing? Why I mean, we understand buying them over the course of the year if you shoot a lot, but you're buying them all at once, and that's a little fucked up. That's fine.
It's absolutely nothing.
Yes, it would. It would actually solve a lot of this.
Unfortunately,
if we solve these things, people won't be afraid and they'll stop buying as many guns. And by the way, there are no guns allowed in this room, in the entire NRA convention, at any of the speeches, and even on the premises. I'm going to guess that you couldn't even, because the former president was speaking, that they won't even let you in the fucking parking lot.
Columbine, we've been afflicted by a contagion of school shootings carried out by...
A contagion. And maybe there's a vaccine. Other than you guys would be anti-vax on that one.
Deeply evil, violent, and mentally disturbed young men. Well, we don't yet know enough about this week's killing. We know there are many things we must do.
No. One of the things we must do is...
We need to drastically change our approach to mental health. There are always...
Like what? Yes, pass laws, like I mentioned, which are in the kind of bills that have been proposed before that never get passed because Republicans run interference.
There's so many warning signs.
Yes, ivermectin to stop gun violence. Basically, you guys just need horse paste. Just all you need is a horse to just paste right in your face.
Almost all of these disfigured minds share the same profile. When people see something, whether on social media or in school, they need to say something. Teachers, parents.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's their fault. They didn't snitch. By the way, Uh, none of the kids. This guy didn't go to that school. He's 18. He graduated. He was a high school student. Now he's an unemployed male adult. He shot up a school of elementary school kids. He didn't go there. It was the elementary school in the fucking district.
School officials and community members need to be recognizing.
Yes, white supremacist, racist assholes that knew of the Buffalo shootings probably should have warned somebody. This kid, I guess his grandmother or his mom could have warned somebody, but he fucking killed them.
And addressing these alarm bells promptly and very, very aggressively. And our school.
Oh my God, I can't do this. This is so fucking dull. Get over yourself. Wait, I want to see what he does as soon as he's done with this bullshit. You can tell by his demeanor. I bet you.
Doors to intruders from the outside. And above all, from this day forward, every school in America should have a police officer or an armed resource officer on duty at all times.
Yeah, God forbid we actually do something about crazy people getting their hands on guns. Why don't we just have a cop in every school? And again, he's going to hit what? Let's see what happens. Okay, so hold on. He gets a drink of water.
That's true.
It's true. It's true.
We spent trillions in Iraq, trillions in Afghanistan. We got nothing. Before we nation build the rest of the world, we should be building safe schools for our own children.
We have safe schools. We don't have safe gun laws.
In our own nation, right?
Uh-oh. He's going to drink water. I think this is a mistake. Oh, I just cracked it.
Last year alone,
he's not going to chance it right now.
Biden and congressional Democrats sent $122 billion in so-called COVID relief funds to K through 12 schools, even while they were keeping many of our schools totally shut down.
Yeah, they were. A lot of that money was spent on ventilation systems so that kids could go back to school. The fuck?
No doubt severely worsening the mental health challenge of many.
Yeah, installing ventilation systems in schools is basically the same as just rolling through there and opening fire.
I mean, many of these young people really suffered very greatly. They became very ill. They may have been ill to start, but they became very, very ill. Congress should vote immediately to take back every penny of unused COVID relief money. Take it back from the states and use that money to quickly establish impenetrable security at every school.
Yeah, so like we need to build steel walls around every school. Impenetrable security. Which, of course, in the case that you would have a shooter who actually gets in, it would be way easier for them to fortify themselves inside the school. One of the reasons why this asshole was able to fortify himself inside the classroom is because we built these classrooms as basically bunkers. Once you're in, you're protected from, guess what? Bullets from the outside. What more could you fucking want? By the way, these Texas schools were also gun-free zones. They just busted another kid for bringing guns on campus. And for all the bullshit about these are gun-free zones and gun-free zones don't help anybody, Texas schools are all gun-free zones.
All across our land. I have noted inner city schools rarely have these kinds of mass shootings. I didn't know that until just recently.
Because I didn't pay attention to inner city schools. They're full of not you guys.
Think of that.
Think of that. I just read that in front of my face.
They rarely have this problem, despite being...
No, they have one-to-one shoot-ups. There's actually more smaller shootings on a per capita basis at city schools.
Located in very tough neighborhoods in many cases.
Yeah, all the shooting happens everywhere else.
Where there's tremendous levels of high crime and violence.
Yes, gun violence.
They're much more dangerous outside the school than inside.
Oh, fuck. That's true of all schools most of the time.
The reason is that for decades, inner city schools have had much stronger security measures in place in the school itself, including metal detectors and, yes, armed guards. They had guns.
Yeah, so they just wait till everybody comes out in the parking lot to shoot everybody. Or they shoot them at the store. The guns are still a problem. They're still getting killed.
Armed guards.
All that matters is that they're not killed on state property.
Whatever our differences may be on other issues, what on earth is stopping Democrats from immediately passing measures to ramp up school security?
Because Democrats do not have control over that. That is a state funding issue. Why the fuck is, especially when this is happening in Texas like crazy, how is that the fault of Democratic lawmakers in Washington, D.C.? I thought you guys were all about decentralized power and states' rights. What the fuck you guys clapping about?
How many more tragedies will it take until they agree to set aside their far-left political agenda and do what is really needed and what actually works?
Uh-huh.
This is not about virtue cycling and...
Yeah, virtue cycling. It's a great way to lose weight. It's like a pious exercise. It's like pious 90X. You mean virtue signaling, you dipshit?
Actually works. This is not about virtue cycling and signing. This is about...
Cycling and signing. He didn't get... That's what you got out of signaling? Virtue signaling. It's an obvious buzzword on the right. There is no fucking way this dipshit doesn't know that phrase. Virtue cycling and signing. And I would like to remind you that if Biden said this while reading from it, we're not talking about, extemporaneous speech where you're thinking and talking and you flub a word and then you go back and fix it. It's fucking what?
This is not about virtue cycling and signing. This is about blaming...
Do you hear that? Somebody laughed in the background. Listen.
Virtue cycling and signing. This is about blaming you.
It's like somebody laughs in the background.
Your enemies. No, we don't want to do that. This is about saving our children's lives. Yes, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we're not going to do anything except tell them snitch on their friends and turn the school into a prison.
Surely we can all agree our...
Don't call me Shirley.
School should not be the softest target. Our school should be the single hardest target in our country.
Are you out of your fucking mind? You want them all like military bases? There's elementary schools, then NORAD. Minefields, laser drones. Anybody steps on the school grounds without a specialty badge, a wrong parent picks them up on the wrong day, they get hit with a predator drone. Get the fuck out of here. Meaning what, asshole?
And that's why, as part of a comprehensive school safety plan, it's time to finally allow highly trained teachers to...
Highly? Jesus Christ.
Comprehensive school safety plan, it's time to finally allow highly trained...
Highly trained? I love when it goes to another page. High-Lee is pronounced.
A comprehensive school safety plan, it's time to finally allow highly trained teachers to safely and discreetly...
Honestly, there are a few things funnier than this asshole who couldn't give a rat's ass about any of this, pretending he does. Hi, Lee.
Carry.
Hi, Lee. How you doing? I'm fine.
Let them concealed carry.
Let them concealed carry.
Concealed carry. Let them concealed carry.
Let them concealed carry. Fucking hell. Like, allow concealed carry. Like, what is... I've never heard anybody who only speaks English speak like English is their second language.
And again, they have to be able to handle it. They have to be highly trained, all of those things, but let them do that. It would be so much better and so much more effective, even from a cost standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to pay a cop. You can just have a teacher who teaches and shoots one of their students. Or they could just pay people, as teachers, to bring guns onto the fucking campus. They'll lock it in their desk because nobody's ever gotten in a teacher's locked desk before.
Because there is no sign more inviting to a mass killer than a sign that declares a gun-free zone.
Texas schools are gun-free zones.
Most dangerous place.
Bullshit.
I know it sounds good, and it really does. Doesn't it sound wonderful? But it's not. And statistically, it's a total disaster.
No, it isn't. And by the way, for the record, this gathering is a gun-free zone. Get fucked.
Gun-free zone. They look at that sign and they say that.
They say, "Wow, the NRA is meeting. We could just barge right the fuck in there. Nobody's even armed."
That's where I'm going. We cannot have that, because if somebody goes into that building, all of those innocent people will be taken out, will be killed, will be tortured. Bad things will happen.
Jesus Christ. Holy hell. Will be tortured? What are you picturing? The fuck?
Have to get rid of it.
Gotta do it. Can't have it. As a matter of fact, I'm announcing right now, the NRA gathering is no longer a gun. I want everybody here who has got a gun, go out to your truck, bring it back in. Settle down, guys. Settle down. It's totally fine. What could be better? There's a bunch of people here who love me and nobody here who hates me. And I know some misunderstandings happen, but I'm not worried about me.
As the age-old saying goes, the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun
is a less bad guy with a gun?
Is a good guy with a gun. Have you ever heard that? No, you've never heard that.
Jesus Christ. Did you know Abraham Lincoln was a Republican? Most people.
And in the absence of a member of law enforcement, there is no one you would rather have nearby when a crisis strikes than an armed, expertly trained member of the NRA.
True, so true. I mean, unless they're a horrible racist who actually decides, oh, it's the great day of the rope. I think I want to join with this asshole in killing people.
Let's not pretend that those on the left are just talking about limiting one class of gun or one category of ammunition.
They are.
You know they're not doing that.
No, they're going after all the good stuff. AK-47s, Russian ammunition, anti-tank weapons.
We all know they want total gun confiscation.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's why we elected the dude who was like, buy a shotgun. It's the best thing you can have for home defense.
Know that. This would be a first step.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Once they get the first step, they'll take the second step, the third, the fourth, and then...
And then there's only 5 steps. The first step is admitting you don't have a gun.
You'll have a whole different look at the Second Amendment.
After the 5th step, the Second Amendment doesn't look like a 2-step.
Which is, by the way, totally under siege. But we stopped it. For 4 years, we stopped it.
Bullshit.
And you've got to stop.
Yeah, remember when Obama was going to take all your fucking guns? Remember that?
Stop it. You've got to stop it. But even if every decent and honest American gave up their guns, the criminals would never give up theirs, and they never will. They're never going to give up theirs. They would wreak havoc like never before in our country. The fact is, there will always be sick and demonic souls who wish to harm.
Right, but if you can stop them from buying these guns. I mean, it's one thing to have an illegal trade that you have cops look after and all that kind of stuff, but we're talking about actually buying these fucking things over the counter, dum-dum.
The innocent and see malice triumph over good. Gonna have that.
Gonna have that, so true. It's gonna happen. It could happen, it could be worse. Could be bad, could be wrong, and this is the thing, NRA, so true.
But the existence of evil in our world is not a reason to disarm law-abiding citizens who know how to use their weapon and...
You're not. None of that is being suggested, fucko. Also, why the fuck, if you're a well-trained gun owner who knows what they're doing, why the fuck will you need more than 6 rounds to hit anybody before reloading? Are you stupid?
Can protect a lot of people. The existence of evil is one of the very best reasons to arm law-abiding citizens.
Who this guy was until he was evil. I'm getting bored with this already.
And that is why one of the core missions of the NRA is to train, prepare, and equip
children to walk around the house with a loaded hand cannon.
Responsible American men and women with the knowledge and tools they need to defend themselves, their families, and their communities. Have to defend their communities and their families.
They got to do it. Sorry. I know you need to go to work. I know you just think you're in traffic, but you're not. You're on duty today. You should, in a civilized society, you should have to always be packing because we're gonna arm the criminals. We're gonna do everything we can to make sure they have as many guns as they need in the name of freedom.
Every single year, the NRA's 125,000 certified instructors, these are highly trained, very, very capable people.
Never met a one.
They train an incredible 1 million Americans to be safer gun owners, ready to act when the situation calls. An incredible job. And every day, that training is protecting the vulnerable and safeguarding the innocent.
And occasionally, they snap and do themselves in or everybody in the neighborhood. Sometimes they show up in a church with a bunch of ammunition and body armor on.
An estimated 500,000 to 2.5 million Americans each year use a firearm in self-defense. The vast majority without ever use a firearm. Estimated 500,000 to 2.5 million Americans.
What the fuck? 500,000 to 2.5 million people use a firearm in self-defense every year? Get the fuck out of here. That's just counting everybody who has one going, well, there's another crime averted because if I wasn't carrying this baby, ba-bang, ba-bow. Non-fucking sense. Gibberish. No. 2.5 million. Get the fuck. No, he's saying, yeah, I mean, maybe he's incorporating law enforcement into this. Whatever.
Americans each year use a firearm in self-defense, the vast majority without ever even having to fire a shot.
Right, so just by walking around, they're counting that as a crime prevented.
Oftentimes, they know you have it, and they say, no, thank you.
And sometimes they know you have it, and they just shoot you right behind your ear before they start killing everybody else because you're the person they can see has a gun. It's basically like a target you wear on your hip that lets them know to kill you first.
We're not gonna mess with her.
Is Bobert there?
In addition,
well, she's not armed right now. I know that for a fact. Whoever she is, whoever he's pointing at, it's interesting that he singled out a woman in the crowd. But for the record, she's definitely not a threat to anybody right now. She's not armed.
According to newly released data from the FBI, last year there were...
Oh, we're trusting the FBI now. That's good.
Not one, not two, not three, but 4 active shooters who were taken out by an armed civilian bravely exercising their Second Amendment rights, saving countless innocent lives.
Oh, 4 of them. Compared to the literal, 112 we've had this year. 4 of them. There were 4 good guys versus 112 bad guys.
That is what the Second Amendment is all about.
No, it isn't. It's about being a part of a well-regulated militia so that if you have to be called up to fight the monarchy, we know how many guns you have and where you've got them.
We're honored to be joined today by a true Texas hero. The Sunday after Christmas in 2019.
No, he's going to tell an anecdote of some fucker who, the one of the 4 out of the 112 shootings we've had. Ron Watkins is his speechwriter.
Veteran firearms instructor Jack Wilson was attending services at the West Freeway Church of Christ outside of Fort Worth. He saw a strange man enter the church, and after that, Jack never took his eyes off him, would not leave him. He knew something was wrong, right up until the man approached the person serving communion and pulled out a gun. Thankfully, after Texas passed a law allowing concealed carry in places of worship, Jack had volunteered to lead his church's citizens security team, and he knew what he was doing.
And he knew that person, and he knew he was nuts, and he knew that guy had bought his gun legally.
Instantly, Jack and another congregant
shot the person giving communion.
Pulled out their firearms very quickly, very professionally.
And killed someone in the middle of a church because some asshole was able to buy a gun.
The shooter gunned down Jack's team member and then turned and killed the man serving Holy Communion. Amid the chaos, Jack had only an instant to take aim.
An instant in which his buddy and the person giving communion were both murdered.
He saw his chance and took out the shooter with a single perfect shot.
Well, it would have been perfect if it was before his buddy and the person giving communion had been shot.
Incredible.
Incredible. So good. I guess tackling him was out of the question. But then if you'd have tackled him, if you'd have seen him pull the gun and you tried to tackle him, the other two people with the guns might have shot you in the crossfire. I was going to bring him up. Thanks for coming up.
Stay right there, Jack.
Stay there right next to me. Tell me about your buddy who's dead and the woman who was giving communion who's dead.
Thanks to Jack's sharp eye and swift action, the shooter was down within 6 seconds out from pulling his gun. Think of that.
Yes, in 5 seconds, he killed 2 people with a gun.
6 seconds.
Fuck off. Okay, I'm done too. We're not going to see anything of this. This is just a fucking parade of bullshit. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm over it. I don't need to see any more of this garbage. We got a couple of his, like, malapropisms. I'll comb through it later if we find something, but fuck off. It's just gross. It's a waste of fucking time. And I think it's important to recognize when it's, like, interminably dull. By the way, so you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Usually I do the full speech on something. I don't ever edit something, or, occasionally we'll do like a needle drop, but I won't take anybody's stuff out of context. And I'm keen to do that. But certain times I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Yeah, I don't need that. Nobody does. Nobody fucking needs it. It's gross. It's and it's not going to change anything. This asshole is not going to, the people that are there that are convinced are already convinced that Trump is on their side. The people who aren't, like the lady who laughed at him for signing and singing instead of virtue signaling, aren't on board and just like, I don't care. So we'll just move on if that's all right with you guys.